All right, guys. Well, Jet fans, no Zach Wilson, no problem. In comes Mike White, and yes, guys, the Jets actually upset one of the better teams in the AFC in the Cincinnati Bengals. All right, the Jets did not have their rookie QB, their starting QB, Zach Wilson, who had a PCL strain. All right, projected to miss anywhere between 2 to 4 weeks. Ideally, I do see him missing 6 weeks. All right, from my point of view. All right, last week I made a video about is Jamar Chase going to be the rookie of the year, and it just certainly looked like it with the performance that he had last week, where he ended up having about over 200 yards. I believe it was at 10 receptions, multiple touchdowns. All right, this guy was a beast. And then coming into today's game, all right, yes, I have Jamar Chase in my fantasy in both leagues, and I just thought that he was going to be able to score his Jets, but that just was not the case. Robert Saleh did a phenomenal job on trying to win this football game, in which he did. You know, the Jets ended up winning 34-31. Wow, and they had the backup QB who really hasn't played any type of snaps in the NFL, coming in to his first pro start, and wow, he started 11 for 11. This guy was phenomenal, Mike White. I believe Mike White, as plain of a name that is, Mike White, I believe he may have been like the backup at one point for Russell Wilson, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong. I'm looking at the stat, I'm looking at if that was the case with Mike White, but neither here nor there. Mike White did a phenomenal job. This guy comes in, fills in for Zach Wilson. There was some controversy at one point because Robert Saleh did have an interview with the Michael K show saying that, they're happy with the production that Mike White has given out in practice. And obviously we were really debating on what Robert Saleh was really trying to say. I mean, like you're going to have a guy that never had reps in the NFL to come in and, do great. And clearly it showed that in practice, like, he did a great job. I mean, it's to have the coaches, trust, and to have the coaches trust and confidence that he's going to be able to do great. I mean, the guy threw 45 passes, had 37 completions. This guy threw over 405 yards, all right? Yes, the 2 interceptions came in the first quarter. But after that first quarter, guys, I mean, he was really started to loading it up. I mean, yeah, the Jets, that first drive, I mean, that was a good drive right there. I mean, we had Michael Carter just leading the way in that first drive, and I believe that really set the tone for the Jets. I mean, the Jets weren't afraid of the Cincinnati Bengals, who Cincinnati came in with a 5-2 record, which that is, great enough alone in the AFC North, which they have Big Ben Roethlisberger with and the Pittsburgh Steelers. You have Lamar Jackson there, and you have what's it called, Baker Mayfield and the Cleveland Browns. And coming into this season, there was a lot of questions as for what was going to be the stake with Joe Burrow. Is he going to be able to be great or not? And he came out phenomenal this year so far. All right, but unfortunately, this is just a bad upset loss by Cincinnati. Now, Joe Burrow didn't have a bad start. 21 completions for 21 completions on 34 attempts, 259 yards passing with 3 touchdowns, 1 interception. Now, mind you guys, a lot of those, the reason why he didn't have so many big yardage right there is because Cincinnati's defense in that first quarter was pretty good. They were able to get 2 interceptions, and they were able to give Joe Burrow and the Cincinnati Bengals a very short field to play with and to give them an opportunity to score. Now, I don't understand the reason why in that first quarter, Zach Taylor just didn't kick the field goal. I mean, there was points at the board right there. There was points on the board for Cincinnati to score, and they went for it on 4th down on the goal line yard. I mean, come on, guys. I mean, at that point, I get what analytics say, but like, look, the New York Jets ended up beating the Cincinnati Bengals by 3 points. The fact that they did not hit a field goal in that drive where I forgot who was it that ended up getting an interception off of Mike White, where it was very close to it being a touchdown, but I forgot who ended up tackling the Cincinnati player that got the interception, but they stopped him short inside the 5-yard line. And what's it called? Joe Burrow ended up getting a sack on fourth down. Like, come on, like that's not something that you want to have as a starting quarterback. Like, you should be able to make sure you're avoiding sacks, but then also that falls in line with the game plan of Zach Taylor, where you just kick the field goal. It's only the first quarter. This isn't the fourth quarter. All right, the game isn't on the line just yet. But sure enough, that play alone does cost Cincinnati the ball game later on, because Cincinnati needed to win that game, and they were down by 3 points. And sure enough, if they would have kicked that field goal when they were on the in the red zone inside the 10-yard line, they could. If they would have kicked that field goal, bam, right there, it would have been 34-34, and we would have a different conversation. And who knows if the Jets end up winning. But now you have the storylines of Mike White coming in for the rescue for Zach Wilson, and then they get it done. All right. I'm not defending Cincinnati. I'm not defending the Jets. All I'm just saying is that the Jets, they were able to take advantage of a lot of Cincinnati's, blunders. Okay. And that's a good thing, because you know what? Take advantage of the stuff that's given to you. Don't try to reach for stuff that's out of your reach, all right? And that's just what Robert Saleh and his staff was able to do better than Zach Taylor and his staff was able to do, okay? But let's give you some of the breakdown, all right? Rushing attempts, what's it called? Joe Mixon had a very hard time, running in between the tackles against the Jets defense led by C.J. Mosley. Joe Mixon ran for 14 carries for 33 yards, and each carry was averaging around 2.4 yards. He did have a touchdown, but that was a touchdown when they were inside of the 3-yard line. All right, Jamar Chase had a jet sweep. He had a rushing yard for one carry and 9 yards. And then receiving wise, for the Bengals, T. Higgins had the most yardage. He had 4 receptions for 97 yards. Tyler Boyd had more volume at him. Tyler Boyd had 5 receptions, but for 69 yards. He had that touchdown. Higgins did have that phenomenal catch, but I don't know what happened over there with Robert Saleh. Did he not throw the challenge flag soon enough, or did he not see it? But that ball did end up moving when T. Higgins ended up diving for that ball, and it just snuggled in, but nobody was able to catch it in time. But it didn't bite the Jets in the rear end, and it didn't really cost them. Joe Mixon had 4 receptions for 58 yards. He had a receiving touchdown as well, so he had 2 touchdowns on the day. We had Jamar Chase, who had a very quiet day, and then 3 receptions for 32 yards, and he had that touchdown in the first quarter to give the Bengals a 14-7 lead at the time. But the Jets did a phenomenal job with Marcus May, and the Jets corners, they were able to shut down Jamar Chase, because Jamar Chase really can extend that field, and he can have a bazonker type of game, something that how Odell Beckham used to do when he was with the New York Giants. But the Jets were able to shut him down and then force Joe Burrow to go to his other weapons in T. Higgins and Tyler Boyd and C.J. Uzomah to try to beat the Jets, and it just wasn't enough, okay? As for the Jets, I already read for you the Jets QB passing records, but Michael Carter did phenomenal in the run game, 15 carries for 77 yards and a touchdown. He had a phenomenal first drive, which really set the pace right there. Ty Johnson ran for 4 carries, 15 yards, okay? And then after that, it was Michael Carter, who had a phenomenal receiving game. Caught a lot of different screens, a lot of different catches from the backfield. It was 9 receptions for 95 yards. Jamison Crowder, who's been leading the receiving yardage for the New York Jets, had 8 receptions for 84 yards. All right, so he had another good game for the Jets. Ty Johnson, 5 receptions for 71 yards and a touchdown. Elijah Moore, 6 receptions for 67 yards. We had a Denzel Mims sighting for 2 receptions and 30 yards. Keelan Cole, who had a fantastic touchdown, but it got overturned because he did not have possession of the football when he was coming down to the floor. That could have been one of the best catches of the year, but unfortunately it does not stand. Braxton Berrios scored a touchdown. He had 2 receptions for 13 yards. But yeah, guys, it was just a lot of phenomenal stuff right there for the New York Jets. They played. It was gritty. It was grinding. It was kind of ugly at one point, but you know what? The Jets got it done. I'm glad that Mike White got, was able to get the victory at home in front of the New York Jets, faithful. Now the question is, can they keep this up? I don't know, guys, because think about it. The Jets, and I'm going to try to pull up their record, the next game. The next game is going to be coming this Thursday in Indianapolis against the the Colts, okay, led by Carson Wentz, who just ended up losing a game against the Tennessee Titans. Now, what's gonna end up happening? I don't know. I mean, is this too quick of a turnaround? Who knows? I don't see this as a bad thing that the Jets are having a game at Thursday night and they're going in Indianapolis, just because, look, Mike White having to face the Bengals, who are a better team in my opinion than the Colts. They go travel to Indianapolis to face the Colts, who just have a loss right there. You had the momentum. I think strike while the iron is hot. I think Mike White can have a decent game. Do I see the Jets winning? I don't know. It just depends on how good is that screen game going to be for the Jets against the Indianapolis Colts. I mean, Indianapolis ended up surrendering a whole ton of yardage to A.J. Brown, who had 10 receptions for like over $150 and a touchdown. But if the Jets are able to use the play action, use the running game with Michael Carter and Ty Johnson, and then have those two guys utilized in the pass catching game, I think that it can make a very competitive ball game. But I have the Colts winning against the Jets, but I have them winning at this point 24-27. And then after that, Jets against Bills. I got the Bills winning. Jets against Dolphins. Depending if Deshaun Watson doesn't get traded to the Dolphins, I got the Jets winning over the Dolphins. And then Jets and Texans, I got the Jets winning. But yeah, guys, I mean, good stuff by the Jets right now. They are officially now 2-5, if I'm not mistaken. Let me just get that right for you. Yeah, they're 2-5. What's it called? Anything is possible at this point. The Jets can possibly rack up some wins, or this may have been a fluke. Either way, good win for the Jets. Good win for Mike White. Glad to see a young stud over there able to get his feet into the water and come out successful. All right, doesn't happen too often, but hey, anything is possible. Until then, guys, I'm Flavo Rihanna. Thank you for tuning in to First and Goal. I'm your host, Flavo Rihanna, and I'll see you guys next time. Until then, let's go Jets and have a good one. Peace, guys. See ya.